Today we're on the moon because nothing makes sense anymore, my friends. Adam Aron, the CEO of AMC, has said that the retail investors own 90% of the float of AMC. What is going on? Who's lying to who? Talking more about this idea that the AMC apes own 90% of the AMC float right here in this video, so make sure you... What's going on, guys? So last night, AMC had their earnings report. The CEO of AMC came out to say that the investors own more than 90% of the float. I'm not sure exactly how the math is adding up here. Nothing really makes sense. The thing about this is, I want to make it very clear for people, is the wording, right? The wording is key here. If you read what Adam Aron said, how he said it, he said, if you exclude index funds that have no choice but to own and hold AMC shares, individual retail investors would seem to own more than 90% of their officially issued 516 million shares as of today. I want to make that very clear for everybody out there. It says would seem. Adam Aron did not say that 100%. Undoubtedly, undisputably, that 90% of the float is owned by retail investors, right? So he's not said a fact. He's not saying that it is a fact that the AMC float is owned by the investors. If you look at the quarterly revenue for AMC, they reported that they came in at $1.1 billion. The thing is, they ended up losing money still. Even with making $1 billion, they still can't make more money than they're spending. AMC, even when making $1.1 billion in revenue, they still were operating at a loss, losing $60 million. Even with everything that's going on, the return of the movie theaters, everybody talking about how the movie theaters are packed and everybody wants to get out there. You got COVID starting to just disappear now. You got the mask in most... You have the mask in most states going away, the vaccine, all that stuff going on. The numbers are still not supporting the business model here, just like AMC has been doing for years. They have not made money. They are spending too much money, and then once that debt maturity starts to happen in the future, they will not be able to stay above the water without, number one, offering more shares, diluting the shareholders in the future, or trying to raise more money by selling bonds on the company. So very interesting that a lot of people get so excited about AMC, but it's very clear that even with everything that's going on, you got the return of the box office, you got the return of all this stuff. You have more hype than ever on AMC. There is more hype on movie theaters and AMC than I would say than ever before, especially with the millions and millions of AMC investors out there that you would think would be out just spending all their money at the AMC movie theaters to help the AMC break even on the year. That would, that would be a nice thing for AMC holders to do. Now, Adam Aron talks about, the idea that people think that AMC is going to go bankrupt, that AMC can't exist in the future because of streaming and because of home entertainment and all that. Well, he's basically pointing out the fact that, yes, AMC will not exist in the future, that AMC will not be able to continue in the future because of so many different things, with their debt maturity, with the price of everything rising, with just across the board. AMC has so many headwinds against them, and Wall Street knows that. Wall Street knows that, and it is showing in the actual stock price. Again, I want to make it very clear that the CEO of the company said would seem to own more than 90%. He did not say that the apes own 90%. He said it would seem. He's saying exactly what he's allowed to say legally without actually saying a fact. He can't say that it is a fact that 90% of the float is owned by the AMC apes. I know people are going to comment and go, well, yeah, he's not going to say that, but he basically said it. Well, he didn't actually say it. He said it would seem. All right, so looking at the overall market today, it's green. The SPY is up almost 2% on the day. What is going on? Look at that rally back there on the SPY, up to almost $440 again. If we go over here, we look at AMC. AMC trying to push back up here off of the $18 level on that daily chart right now, pulling down there to almost $17 and then bouncing back right now, looking like a little bit of a high. Look at this 15-minute candle just going from 1780 up to almost 1840 there on that 15-minute candle. We've talked about this before on AMC, all of that resistance here at the 1950 area, and then after that, major resistance up there at the 2050 area. So AMC had earnings. AMC had the CEO of the company say that they're possibly, maybe, you know, they have 9% of the flow. Yeah, you know, all these things going on, and still the stock is barely moving. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a lot of short squeezes in my days, and this is not a short squeeze. If you look at the overall picture here on AMC, look at this thing. Well, I don't know about you guys, but normally a short squeeze goes up and not down. And, well, AMC has been going down, down, down. Again, we got the support there at the 1450 area there on AMC, and you've got that 2050 area, that key area of resistance. We've talked about multiple times this overall downward trend, the idea of AMC pushing back up here and then rolling off one more time down in the single digits in the future. Again, the numbers don't lie. Gravity is real, my friends, especially in this market that we're living in today. People are going to ask questions. People want to know answers. And, well, Adam Aaron just has a possibility of a 90% float owned by the float. So very interesting. Very interesting. Obviously, there's the idea that the institutional investors own a large chunk of the float as well. And then you've got the index funds. And then, so obviously the big argument here is if the shareholders that are, so obviously the big argument here is if the retail investors own 90% of the float, well, how much do the institutional investors own? Because they have millions of shares as well. So 90% plus 10% would be 100%. Anything over that would mean that there's synthetic shares out there. So many questions, so little time. I don't know about you guys, but I think at this point that we are at a point in the world where, well, we're at a point in this play now that the synthetic shares that everyone's been talking so much about, they could have been covered so long ago. There's been so much volume on the stock. There's been so many reasons. So the idea that there's, you know, billions and billions of shares out there that are fake shares that need to be covered, I just don't believe that story anymore. I don't believe that rhetoric. And I think a lot of people are getting duped into this idea now, again, because Adam Aaron said that possibly, maybe, you know, maybe there's a 90% chance. It's 90% chance, 100% of the time. So there it is. If you guys haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below. I'll talk to you later.